Saul Alvarez. I know him as Saul Canelo, as everybody else knows him. Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. I'm going to tell you the story I have behind this fight. I think it's a great fight. A lot of people say it's going to be one-sided. I've got a different perspective from other people because been in camp with both of them. I've hosted both of their camps, not to the point where I'm not the gym owner and I open and lock the gym and I walk away. I was there every day, participated. I had athletes come and go. I got equipment. Went through drills, made sure they had drills to go through. I actually helped out a little more with Canelo than with Terrence Crawford, and we'll talk about that later. But anyway, I'm going to give you my insight on the fight, how I think it's going to go, or just kind of my insight. So it's coming up next. All right, guys, here we go. So I've got a unique perspective of this fight coming up because I know both fighters. I have personally been part of their camps for a long time. Not any time now, but back in, I think, before 2016, I actually hosted both of their camps. Whenever they came into Vegas, they trained in my facilities, in my gyms. So I've watched both. I've seen both. I met them both at different times in my life. Canelo Alvarez, I met him at MGM Grand. One of those people came up and introduced himself to me. Say, hey, I have Saul with me. I says, really? I looked over, couldn't tell him out of there. I couldn't pick him out of the crowd. He brought me over to him, and the red hair. What are you gonna do? But he had a hat on at the time and everything, and he was 215 pounds. Now, this is back in 2006, 2007. Okay? So, met him there. He didn't speak any English. So, and I asked him, I said, what are you weighing? And the interpreter, the guy that was with him, said, no, he's a 215 right now, 215. We weighed in this morning. That's 215 pounds. So, yes, he's the bigger guy, okay? Terrence Crawford, I've always met him in camp. He's always in shape. He's never overweight. Terrence Crawford is a fucking excuse my French, he's a worker. Okay, he's a solid worker. Like, you got let's say you're working at some of you guys have worked at in construction. You got your guys that show up and they check the job out. They put the hard hat on. They got the nice, collared shirt on, and they look at the job, right? And then when they need to, they got to help out. They'll help out. Then you got the guy that gets there at 3, 4 in the morning and has been hanging drywall for 8 hours, or put steel up, for 8, sometimes 10, 12 hours. Okay, that's Terrence Crawford. That's Terrence Crawford. That's the difference between the two of them. Yes, there's a work ethic difference. When it's on, and it's time to go, and it's time to work, Canelo Alvarez, Saul will put it in. We've all seen it. Okay? He will. Work harder than most. The difference, Terrence Crawford is always going to put it in. Whether it's time or whether it's not. He shows up at a gym and he's got no fights for the rest of the year, and it's October, or it's November, or it's September or something like that, and he's got no fights, and he goes to a gym and he's dressing just to work with some guys. He's working harder than anybody else in that gym. He's a worker. Okay, he's a hell of a man worker. He's gonna put in the work. That's the difference between the two. When the time is right, when the time is time, Canelo's gonna put in the work. Whether it's time or whether it's not, there is no shits given. Terrence Crawford is going to bust his ass. That's the difference between the two of them in that respect. Okay, second thing we'll get into is kind of the persona, how their head works. Okay, both of them. This is just me This is what I dealt with on a daily basis. So I can tell you how how they are as a human, how they are as a person when it comes to working. It's time to work. It's time being who they are. When Terrence Crawford enters the gym, he could walk in through a door, you don't even know he's there. He's suiting up, he's getting ready to work, talking to his coaches, going through what he's going to do that day, talking shit to each other. They're being guys being guys, but focused on the work at hand. He comes in, like I said, just like that construction worker. Okay, he's coming in with his lunch pail, hard hat, ready to work. Okay, couldn't even tell him from the rest of the crew that comes in there, all the sparring partners, all the fighters coming in and out all day. You couldn't even tell him if you didn't know who he was, because he's coming in like everybody else, ready to work. Okay, not saying that's good, not saying that's bad. Definitely not bad, but you know what I mean. Okay, it is what it is. Canelo Alvarez, he's going to come in after an entourage. His entourage is going to come in. They're going to check everything out. Then he's going to come in. He's going to talk to me, or not him. He's not going to talk to me until everything's done. His people are going to talk to me about what times he needs the gym, what temperature he needs the gym. You see where I'm going here. When he needs it, and they're going to try and negotiate, but they don't really negotiate. Here's what we're going to do, and you're going to have to deal with it if you want us to come to your gym, if you want us to pay you. They're going to try and tell me the way it's going to be done, and then they're constantly, during the camp, going to come to me and say, we would like this, we need this, we would like this to happen, we need this to happen. Okay? So, as you can see the difference between the two. All right? That's the difference between the two. And I think Canelo is one of the best fighters that we definitely, one of the best fighters, if not the best, next to Crawford, that we have right now. That's working. That's actually in the fight game right now. Okay, he's great. It's unbelievable. But I am here. You are to treat me that way. You are here. So you need to treat me the way I need to be treated. And that's the way it is. And whether it's him, but it's most of his entourage. He has an entourage. Canelo has an entourage. Crawford has family, and then he's got his people that are his trainers and his people that are with him in camp. And I'm saying, guys, I know where you think I'm going with this, is that I'm not liking Canelo. We're not there yet. And I'm liking Terrence Crawford. I like the way Terrence Crawford does business. I don't like the way Canelo does business, because I did this business with both of them. So I'm letting you know the differences. This is what happened. This isn't a story because I like one or the other. I think they're both phenomenal. I think they're both unbelievable. I'm telling you what happened and what happens. I'm telling you exactly what's going on. No bullshit. All right. Okay, let's start to get to the brass tacks here. Let's let the rubber hit the road, so to speak. So, training camps. Who's in their corner? If you've ever been a fighter in your life, you know this matters. Who's in your corner, what they do, what they've done, and what they're going to do. All right? Kind of what they put in. And this again is going to make you think I'm going one-sided. But I'm telling you what I saw, what I witnessed, what I was a part of numerous times, many years with Canelo. And God, it was at least 3 or 4, maybe more. I think it was 6 years, 4, 5, about 5 years with Crawford, and I think 4 years with Canelo. Man, maybe more. I think it was more. About the same. Anyway, okay, so I'm not telling you because I want to talk shit about either other guy. I'm telling you what happened. And I want to be blunt about this, guys. I'm a trainer. I've been trained by the best. I am not the best. I've been taught by the best. The best trainers in the field, bar none. I have learned from them. And I put that up against anybody. I've learned from the best. I've been part of camps since I was, 11 years old. So I started late, but since 11 years old, I was a fighter. It was good. I was quick, fast, and I had a great jab, and I loved going to the body. But other than that, I was no superstar. I learned because I knew what I wanted to do eventually was be a trainer, and now I love being a cut man and wrapping hands. I love being a trainer. I love getting into fights and doing strategy for a fight. Love it. I'm obsessed with it. So, like I said, I've learned from the best. So now we're going to go with coaching in your corner. Crawford's people are there. They're giving insight to him. He tells them something. They communicate back about different ways of going about a fight. They actually have communication. They have guys with a lot of wisdom in there. He has, and he's been with the same guys for so long, and both of them have. But with the sorry about this, guys, but parched. But both of them have had the same camps for most of their career. I believe all their careers, maybe. So that's the same. The communication is what's different. The communication between the Crawford camp, he's got a tight camp. They're there. They're always together, and they're always communicating. Okay? And it's not a one-way street. It's not the trainer tells the fighter everything, or one trainer tells the fighter everything, and everybody else does what they're told, or the fighter tells the trainers what to do, and all those guys do what they're told. Or it's not that. The fighter, the conditioning coach, the trainer, the mitt guy, whoever, the guy with the guy helping out, whoever it is, all these guys, they work together, they talk together, they review films together, they're together, they're like a family. I mean, when you're fighting as a professional, you've been together for that long as he's been fighting, you're a family. Whether you're a family or not by blood, you're a family. They do things like a family. They're together, they communicate back and forth, back and forth. Now, Canelo, completely different. I'm not saying this because I don't like the guy, because I like the guy as a fighter. Okay, he's unbelievable. Completely different. As everybody noticed in the Mayweather fight, how everything changed. He got used. He got made. He looked pretty bad that night. Okay. He didn't drop. He didn't get knocked out. But he looked like I like to say, looked like a blind man. Or somebody shut the lights off. He's trying to find his way out of a room he's never been in before. That's what he looked like, okay? Mayweather made him look stupid. He's still strong, but he looks stupid. And what happened after that fight? Everything changed. Everything changed. Majority of things changed. Because he changed. Why? Because he wanted to. Why? Because he did the work. He did the schooling. He studied. He did the studying. He did the film study. He looked about what he wanted to do, what he had to do. Canelo trains himself. I've noticed that from the first days. Canelo will find other fighters or find mistakes that other people make or find great things that other people do, and he will latch on and he will tell his trainers, this is what we need to do. This will work. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I know he's got 2 trainers. One of the trainers was literally given the Trainer of the Year award. Oh my God. Hey, I don't hate the guy. Okay? I'm not even gonna bring his name up. Nice guy. He's not the Trainer of the fucking year. The week, the minute. He's not. Canelo, and I've witnessed it. Canelo does the studying. Okay, Saul, as I know, Saul does the studying. Saul will find out what fighters do what he needs to do. Saul will study the fighter he's going to fight. Will study the fights that he wants to be like. Will study what he needs to say and say, I need to work on this. I need to do this. Saul Alvarez is the trainer of that camp. He tells the other guys, the two trainers, what he wants to work on, what he needs to do, and they do what they're told. That's how that camp works. So this is going to be a long little breath of wind I'm giving you here, but only because I know this. I had a fight. I'm not going to bring up anybody's name because I don't want to put anybody blast or anything like that. A lot of people get pissed when you put their name on things and they even ask them. So I trained quite a few fighters, shit ton. I had one guy. Canelo was in camp. He had sparring partners that came with him that flew in from. They were in Big Bear, then they flew to me. Or then they drove. I think they drove to me, obviously in Vegas from Big Bear. Anyway, so all those sparring partners, he had 3 or 4 of them dropping off. They're just literally not coming back. They disappear. They didn't even take the money. They took money what's given to them in the beginning, but they just kept disappearing. We had one guy left. I'll never forget seeing him get ready to get in there and spar. A grown man getting paid to be a sparring opponent for, a world champion. So he's getting paid good money. Gets in the ring. You didn't even see this by guys that sparred Tyson back in the day. Every once in a while, I'm sure. Literally shaking out of his jockstrap. Shaking to get ready to spar. He was that scared. And obviously, he said, I can't take this. He was actually man enough to say, I can't take this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And that was his last day. I think he sparred with him for a couple rounds, and then he got out and he was done. So I had a couple amateurs get in the ring with Canelo. And a couple old school guys that came in that are old school fighters that still work out and stuff. And they worked with him well, better than everybody else. I'm not giving them names out either. Very good fighters, and believe me, if I gave you the names, you'd shit. You'd be like, holy shit. You would shit. Anyway, so we called some more people in. I called some more people in. I had a fighter, needed some money, and he's semi-retired. He literally fought in the 120s, 130s. I know him because he was the first person that walked into the top-ranked gym with a IBF world title. And I got to see a real world title up close right there when I was fighting. He was the first guy that I ever saw a world title from that actually had it, brought it into the gym, put it on the ring where y'all got to see the real deal. But this was in the 130s. Okay, I forget. I don't want to say what weight it was or anything because I'm not sure. I believe it's in the 130s. Small guy. Canelo now is in the 160s and the 150s. He's fighting at 154. But he's I don't even know if he's fighting at 154 then. And maybe. But he's in the 160s right now in camp. He sparred this guy. This guy fights in the 130s. So he was a smaller guy. He's got to be maybe 140. He was small. He always works out and runs, so he's probably not. He was probably in the 130s. All I said to this guy was constantly move. I told you I learned from the best, so I don't take any credit from this. I have in here what I was taught outside of here, and it all stayed in, okay? The guys that taught me are the ones I give credit to. So what I saw during camp, I said, listen, I love the guy. I love this fighter that I had spar with him. I said, never stop moving. Shoot and move. Shoot and move. Use your stick and move. Shoot and move. Because Canelo cannot throw a punch if he doesn't set his feet. He can't throw any punch if he can't set his feet. He needs to set and throw. He cannot Muhammad Ali it. He can't Sugar Ray Leonard it. He definitely can't Mayweather it. He cannot throw punches without sitting and just digging his feet in and throwing a punch. Can't do it. So if you keep moving, he can never get you. He can never score a punch. What happened? Exactly that. To the point where I had his trainers getting so pissed off at me and at the other fighter saying, you need to fight, need to fight, need to fight. He needs to fight, we need to fight for sparring. They want him to just sit there and take punches so he can spar. What do you think his opponent was going to do? His opponent was coming up, was extremely skilled in boxing. But as the fight happened, they weren't that skilled. They didn't. They let him sit and throw, so they lost. Like I said, it's not me. It's the ones that taught me. So anyway, the kid was outweighed by, it had to have been 15, 20 pounds. Had to be at least 15 pounds. And he just moved around and scored and made him look stupid, just like Mayweather did. And this was before the Mayweather fight. So I knew when Mayweather was coming up, it was going to be ugly. And they were pissed. Then I had an amateur come in there, and they thought, he was a heavy guy. This amateur came in. He was an amateur star. He was in the Olympic trials for Beijing. He didn't turn pro. Had a lot of work and stuff like that. Hadn't been in a ring in 3 years. He hadn't been in a boxing ring, ring for working out like that in 3 years. Now, this guy's an unbelievable athlete, unbelievable fighter, but it's been 3 years since he's been in a boxing ring, 3 years since he sparred anybody. He got in there with one of the best in the world at the time, Canelo Alvarez, and told him what to do, same thing. If you sit down, if you stand still, he's going to fucking kill you. So box and move, box and move. I like to say my terminology is be a ghost with a jab. And every once in a while, shoot a combination and move to the blind side. If you want to know any more about that, stay tuned. We get into the terminology, different ways to fight in my my YouTube channel here. And that's what happened. We went on for a good week. And they were pissed because the kid's Canelo's losing his confidence. Shit. He's got these one's big guy, the other guy's about his weight. He had to have been in his 60s, 166, 170. He was a bigger guy, but he's an old man. He's done fighting. He was 05 Beijing Olympic trials. He was an old man. He's done fighting. But he hadn't been in the ring in 3 years, and he's working him. The other guy had to leave. He had a fight coming up. Matter of fact, he got a big fight. If I tell you that fight, then I tell you who his opponent was. It was a big fight. You'll be like, oh, you'll figure out who it was. I'll let you figure it out. It was he had a big fight with De La Hoya coming up. He just got signed, so he had to leave and go into camp in California. We'll see if you guess who that was. Little guy. Awesome dude. Awesome guy. Anyway, so this other guy gets in. It's the last week of sparring, and he's the only one left. So I said, you're all they got if you want to do it. He says, yeah. He loved to spar. He loved to fight. He's an old guy, a Hawaiian guy, so he loved fighting, So he got in there, sparred with him, and then he started to get a little cocky, this amateur, because he's been working Canelo for the last week and a half. So this was the NOE, and finally he sat there, and the guy is throwing shots at him. Now, like I said, he's a Hawaiian guy. He's an island boy. You hit him in the head, he'll just smile at you and say it felt good. He's going to want to. But then Canelo threw a combination, and one of the punches landed to the body. The fighter, the amateur, went, and it's like the world stopped there for a second, and Canelo saw it. Canelo simply shifted, stepped back a little bit, shook out, sparred a little bit, jabbed a little bit at him, and then just stepped in. And I shit you not, it was a 7 or an 8 punch combination to the body. And that kid fell like a pancake, just fell like a just plate of spaghetti on the floor. Just, and that was it. He couldn't get up. That was the end. The kid's like, that was good, and that was it. That was the last day of sparring for him. Canelo found it, and that kid couldn't take a punch to the body. So, and that was his last day of sparring. Gave him a good head. He went in and won the fight. That's when he fought. Sugar Ray, or Sugar. Yeah, that's when he fought Sugar. Yeah, not Mosley. Anybody doesn't know. That's when he fought Mosley. So, that was his last sparring session. So, anyway, that's how that went. Okay, so now going on the hands of sparring. Obviously, like I told you, I had camp with both of these guys. Sparring, when it came to Crawford, when it came to Canelo, it was very picky. Not his trainers, they were a little bit into it, but it was his entourage, I think when that was the time he was with Golden Boy, they were very picky about who they got for sparring partners. They didn't want anybody overwhelming. They wanted people he could handle easily. Okay? Yeah, they really took time to handpick sparring partners so he would be safe. Now, understanding if you're a big conglomerate, a big money-making company like, Golden Boy was, you want to save your product. You don't want to ruin it. You want to save it. Well, now we'll slash that and we'll go to Crawford. Nobody told Crawford what the fuck he's going to do. Nobody told Crawford shit. Crawford's going to go in the gym. Let's go. Who's sparring today? You. Let's go. Who's sparring today? Let's go. His people would bring in people, and they would bring sparring partners in. Whoever's in that gym. In my gyms, I had guys that were superstars, like really good fighters, ex-world champions, IBF, WBO. We had champions from WBC. We had champions in and out of there all the time. And he didn't give a shit, didn't care. Let's go. Let's work. I need the work. Let's work. And I watched him get in the ring and work a sparring session like Mayweather. Except he worked sparring sessions a little more like Mayweather fought. Sparring sessions for Mayweather, he would take a lot of abuse and then put it on him and then take a lot of abuse. Because if he just put it on him and just would make him miss all the time and he wouldn't have a lot of sparring partners, and they wouldn't do a lot for him. So he was very smart. Like, we're not talking about Mayweather, but he was very smart when it comes to sparring, and he worked his ass off. I've never seen a harder sparring workout from a fighter than Mayweather. But that's another story for another time. Crawford, it was what's that boy, like the Fisher boy or whatever, that was really good at chess? It was a chess match, but he knew, and you could tell, it was a chess match that started in the first round, and he would just move and find different things, constantly calculating, looking at the matrix, and just constantly calculating, and he would know his final move. He would know his kill shot by at least round 4, sometimes round 3. He would know his kill shot. He would know what he had to do to end the fight by round 4. And then he would just move with them. And when it came time, and he did it in fights. When you hear this now, watch a fight of his. He would fight, and he would move just like Mayweather, except he was a little rougher, a little more game, right? He was more like, let's fucking go. Mayweather was more defensive, didn't want to get hit, right? Crawford is, let's go. Let's go. You die, I die. Believe me, you're going first. And that's the way Crawford is. So he would watch his opponent and move and move. And he would know the kill shot by 4th round. Guaranteed, he would know it. He'd figure the guy out, just like a chess game. And he would still monkey with it, still try it. He knew it was there, and he would mess with it a little, make sure it was still there. You never know. And then when it came time, and he felt, you know, everything lined up perfect, he would boom, finish the fight. That's the way Crawford is. I've never seen a technician, a silent technician, rough, blue collar, silent technician like Crawford before in sparring. I never saw anybody like that before. Because any technician's just quiet, and they're just, you know, they're more kind of feeling out the process, and they'll shoot a combination, they'll shoot a jab, and they'll move, and they're ever so smooth and everything. No, Crawford's rough and tumble. He's going to get in there. He's going to shoulder shock you. You're going to get into it. He's going to get a couple holds in there. It's going to be ugly, but he knows what he's doing. And when it's time, he's going to end it. He's rough. He's a rough blue collar fighter with the brain of a white collar. You understand? So that's what I got on both of their sparring techniques. Okay, so finishing this up, guys. Sorry I'm long-winded here, but I want to give you all the information. I was there. I've been there. I know both the guys. Okay? I go to an event, I see them. How you doing? You know, I know both the guys. I guess their camps now, I don't know how they are. I haven't seen them in years. So I'm just telling you what I know. Here's what I'm saying. When it comes to camp, sparring, who's going to have the best sparring out of both camps? It's going to be Crawford. Crawford's going to go and spar and do anything he has to do. Canelo's not going to do that. He'll spar different guys, but he will be catered to a little more, well, a lot more than Crawford. Crawford, I told you, is a blue collar. Canelo's the white collar in this event. It is what it is. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've dealt with it. I've done it. Been a part of it. Crawford, and here's the big thing that comes to mind for me. All the years, even before I met him, and after I met him in the sparring sessions, in the fights I've witnessed, I've never seen Crawford get hurt severely. Where, oh shit, it's over. It's done. Never seen it. Canelo, I've seen it. Twice. Once, nobody witnessed it. And I saw it. It was in a fight, and but not a lot of people saw what was going on. That he did get his deck of cards flipped. And thank God the other guy was running out of gas and couldn't get to him and couldn't finish the job, so to speak. And even if he did, Canelo could have got up and finished them. Who knows? But I saw it. And then when he was coming up, one of his first fights on TV, first or second, I think Hatton's brother, or maybe it was somebody else. It was somebody's brother that was no superstar. Clipped him. And I know most of you have seen this. If any of you are real fight fans and you've been watching fights for a while, it was on HBO, I believe, and he got clipped. You can see it. It's all over Facebook, I'm sure. The YouTube. He got clipped, and he was literally on rubber leg street. He was rubber legged, and if somebody was powerful enough and technical enough and rough enough to end it like a Crawford, it would have been over. And I witnessed that, and I know most of you that saw that fight witnessed it too. Never seen that from Crawford. Only seen that from Canelo. It was young. My God, he was young. Very young then. He had the little baby face. He was young. But happened. Never happened to Crawford. Baby face or not. Now maybe some of you guys have seen something to Crawford. Please let me know. I never seen anything like that from Crawford. Anyway, that's my two bits about the fight coming up. Do I have a winner? I wouldn't put money on anybody. I'm not putting money on shit because I don't trust the coaches. I don't trust the promoters. I don't trust the TV companies, and I definitely don't trust the judges or the referee. And that's boxing nowadays. So if you hate me now because I'm not picking a pick, that's why. So boxing's different now, man. It's not man and man, man versus man. It's not mano a mano. It's not that anymore. It's corporate. Who's gonna make corporate conglomerates more money, and who's gonna sell more tickets and more time on TV? That's what matters. Canelo's gonna do that. Crawford's not. So, is Crawford, he's kind of at the point where he's made his money, he's done his thing. He's going to shut a couple more boys up by putting them on the floor, and then he's going to walk away. Canelo wants to do the same thing, but I think they can run Canelo a little longer, and Canelo's got a hell of a following. So I think the corporate world is going to want him to get fire in his ass and want to make more money with him. But yeah, I like Crawford better. I do. Yeah, I like Crawford better, guys. But I could see the younger kid winning it, Canelo. So, like I said, I can't pick one because it's the youngest kid, man. Youth is a motherfucker. I'm an old guy now, believe me, I know. I go down and I want to just work out on a bag and not even heavy. I'm just touching the thing. My bones tell me, what are you doing? Go to bed. So, it's, like I said, I can't make a pick. I'll be looking for Crawford to win for the upset. Will not be surprised if Canelo puts it to him. Locks him in a corner against the ropes and puts it to him, to his body. So, and sends it. So, we'll see. See what happens. I mean, that's my 2 cents about everything, guys. Sorry for the long-winded blow here. But I just want to let you know, I've been there with both of them. That's my 2 cents. And we'll see what happens. It's actually one of the first fights in a long time that I've actually wanted to see. I don't really watch boxing much. I watch the old stuff from the, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I don't watch much nowadays. It's tough to watch. Fundamentals are out the window nowadays. But we're going to give you some fundamentals. We're going to give you some. I'm going to start. I'm back. Had a lot of family problems. I'm back. We're going to get to the gym, and we're going to go over some fundamentals and some strategic boxing for you. All right. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. And please like, subscribe. Let me know you're back. Let me know you want to hear me again. I'm back. Let's make things happen, man. All right. Have a good one.